What if I told you the greatest threat to your independence after 60 isn't your age? It's the few simple movements your body quietly stopped doing years ago. As a physician, I've met countless older adults who believed aching joints, poor balance, and slower mornings were simply the price of getting older. But after studying the daily habits of remarkably healthy Japanese centenarians, I discovered that just 3 gentle movements, performed consistently, not intensely, can help protect strength, stability, and confidence far longer than many people expect. If you've started avoiding stairs, rising more carefully from a chair, or wondering whether your body is becoming less reliable, stay with me. What you're about to learn could change the way you think about aging forever. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell, so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. Movement number 1, Sampo, the slow walk that teaches your body to feel young again. If I could recommend just one habit for someone over 60 who wants to stay independent, it would not be running, cycling, or walking faster. It would be learning how to walk slower, with purpose. That may sound backwards, but sometimes the greatest improvements come from doing less, not more. In Japan, many older adults practice a form of mindful walking known as Sampo. It is not considered exercise in the Western sense. There is no stopwatch, no fitness tracker, and no pressure to reach a certain number of steps. Instead, it is a quiet daily practice that reconnects the body and the brain through deliberate movement. Here's how it works. Walk at about half of your normal pace. As you move, breathe with a simple rhythm. Inhale for 2 steps, gently hold your breath for 2 steps, then exhale slowly over 4 steps. That steady breathing naturally relaxes the nervous system while encouraging smooth, controlled movement. When you slow down this much, something remarkable happens. Your feet begin making fuller contact with the ground. Instead of rushing from one step to the next, your heel, arch, and toes work together as they were designed to. Those small changes activate dozens of joints, muscles, and sensory receptors that constantly send information to your brain about balance and body position. As we grow older, those communication pathways often become less efficient. That is one reason many people begin feeling unsteady without realizing why. Gentle, intentional walking helps wake those pathways back up. Your brain learns to trust your body again, and your body responds with greater stability. I've seen patients who believed they simply had old legs begin moving with noticeably more confidence after making this practice part of their morning routine. They didn't become younger overnight. They simply gave their bodies consistent opportunities to remember how to move well. You don't need special shoes, expensive equipment, or a gym membership. Start with just 10 minutes each morning. If possible, walk on grass, a park trail, or another natural surface, since slight changes in terrain encourage even more balance training. If that's not available, your neighborhood sidewalk works perfectly well. As you take each slow, deliberate step, remind yourself that you're doing far more than walking. You're training your balance, supporting healthy circulation, calming your mind, and investing in the independence you'll want years from now. Sometimes the simplest movement becomes the one that changes everything. Movement number 2, Radio Taiso, 3 minutes that wake up your entire body. The second movement may be the easiest one to fit into your day, yet it has helped generations of older adults in Japan stay active well into their later years. It's called Radio Taiso, a gentle morning routine that has been part of Japanese daily life for nearly a century. Every morning, millions of people, from school children to retirees in their 90s, move through the same sequence of simple stretches and controlled motions. It lasts just over 3 minutes, but its effects can last throughout the entire day. One of the biggest mistakes I see among older adults is getting out of bed and remaining almost completely still for the next hour. You wake up, make coffee, sit down at the kitchen table, and expect stiff joints to somehow loosen on their own. Unfortunately, our bodies don't work that way. During the night, your joints spend several hours without movement. The synovial fluid that cushions and lubricates your knees, hips, shoulders, and spine settles while you sleep. Gentle movement is what redistributes that fluid, allowing your joints to glide more comfortably. Think of it like warming up the engine of a car on a cold morning. A few minutes of preparation often make the rest of the day run much more smoothly. Radio Taiso does exactly that. The routine includes easy arm circles, gentle side bends, shoulder rolls, knee lifts, and light stretching performed in one continuous flow. There are no difficult positions to hold and no movements that force the body beyond its comfort level. Instead, every motion encourages blood flow, joint mobility, and muscle activation without creating unnecessary strain. I've recommended similar morning mobility routines to many of my older patients over the years. Those who remain consistent often tell me the same thing after a few weeks. They don't necessarily feel younger, but they notice they can stand up more easily, walk with less stiffness, reach overhead with greater comfort, and begin the day with far more confidence than before. The beauty of this practice is that almost anyone can do it. You don't need athletic ability, expensive equipment, or perfect flexibility. Simply perform the movements at your own pace immediately after getting out of bed. Wear your pajamas if you like. Hold on to a sturdy chair if your balance feels uncertain. The goal isn't to exercise until you're tired. The goal is to remind every joint in your body that a new day has begun. 3 minutes may not seem like enough to make a difference, but when those 3 minutes become part of every morning, they gradually build something much more valuable than fitness. They help preserve the freedom to move comfortably through everyday life. Movement number 3, the deep squat, the forgotten position that protects your independence. The third movement surprises almost everyone I talk to because it isn't really an exercise at all. It's a natural position that many people around the world still use every day, yet most Americans gradually stop doing sometime in adulthood. I'm talking about the deep squat. If you've ever visited Japan, you've probably noticed older adults comfortably squatting while tending a garden, waiting for a train, or talking with friends in the park. They aren't showing off flexibility. They're simply using a position their bodies never forgot. Most of us, however, spend decades sitting in chairs, driving cars, and sleeping in elevated beds. Little by little, our hips become tighter, our ankles lose mobility, and our knees begin moving through a smaller range of motion. Then one day we assume that stiffness is simply part of aging, when in reality it's often the result of movements we've quietly abandoned. The deep squat gently restores those movements. It encourages your hips, knees, ankles, and core muscles to work together the way they were designed to. Just as importantly, it teaches your body how to safely lower itself and rise again. 2 abilities that become increasingly important as we grow older. Now, let me reassure you. I'm not asking you to drop into a full squat on your first attempt. In fact, I would advise against it. Start beside a sturdy countertop or wall for support. If your heels lift off the floor, place a folded towel underneath them. Lower yourself only as far as feels comfortable. Hold the position for 15 to 20 seconds, then slowly return to standing. As your mobility improves, your body will naturally allow you to move a little deeper without forcing the process. One of the most encouraging things about this movement is that progress often comes gradually, without you noticing it day to day. A month from now, you may find yourself tying your shoes with less effort. A few months later, getting out of a low chair may feel easier than it has in years. Those are meaningful victories because they directly affect your independence. I often remind my patients that healthy aging isn't about proving what your body can still do once. It's about preserving the movements you'll rely on every single day. The ability to bend down safely, pick something up from the floor, or stand back up without fear is far more valuable than lifting heavy weights in a gym. Practice this movement for just a minute or two each day. Be patient with yourself. Your goal isn't a perfect squat. Your goal is to remind your joints that they were made to move and that they still can. The next 5 years begin with the choice you make today. As we grow older, our bodies rarely change overnight. More often, they change quietly. A little less strength this month, a little more stiffness next year, a slightly slower reaction when you lose your balance. These small changes can accumulate for years before they suddenly become a fall, a hospital stay, or the moment you realize your independence is no longer something you can take for granted. The good news is that aging does not mean giving up control. While none of us can stop time, we can influence how well our bodies respond to it. That begins with understanding what your body truly needs, not extreme workouts or miracle products, but consistent, intentional movement that preserves the abilities you rely on every day. The 3 Japanese movements we've discussed today are simple because the human body responds best to habits we can actually maintain. A few minutes each morning may not seem significant today, but over the next 1, 3, or even 5 years, those small choices can shape how confidently you walk, how easily you stand, and whether you continue enjoying the life you've worked so hard to build. I encourage you to think beyond today's video. Imagine the version of yourself 5 years from now. Will that person be stronger because you chose to act today? Or will they wish these small warning signs had been taken more seriously? As a physician, I've learned that the healthiest older adults are not always the strongest or the youngest. They are the ones who pay attention early, make thoughtful adjustments, and remain consistent long before a crisis ever appears. Your future health is being written one ordinary day at a time. Start with one movement. Repeat it tomorrow, then the next day. Those small decisions, made consistently, may become the greatest investment you ever make in your independence, your confidence, and the years still waiting for you. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.